The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista. Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. It's been a very exciting day. It's been an exciting week as kids go back to school in different districts across the county. Yeah,
tens of thousands of students across Kern County getting ready for that first day of school. I know that there's a lot of kids, of course, that are probably had kind of an anxious night. Because sometimes it's always difficult to try to get to bed, in anticipation of the first day of school. However, a lot of students have already gone back to school, including all three boys in the Jansen household. How was their first day?
It was good, but they were really nervous. My first grader, I realized this is his first time going into a full day because all of kindergarten, save a couple of days at the end of the year, were distance or hybrid for a lot of kids. So this is going to be a big change for a lot of kids, and I know that there's a little bit of anxiety, but we've got some good news on the weather front.
That is for sure. If today is the first day of school for those kids out there, we need to lock down the weather department. Cooler temps have arrived.
Yeah, cooler temps have definitely arrived. And, I know a lot of people take pictures of the kids on the first day holding their signs, that sort of thing. So if you do that today, you can send it to me, and I'll like to show some of them as we head into tomorrow. You can send it to kevinsharette@kgt.com, and I'll show as many as I possibly can. But, yeah, the headline is the cool down, and that is a good thing for all of us. And I want to talk about this cool down a little bit because today it's going to be close, but we might be looking at the 80s. And when is the last time Bakersfield hit the 80s? Well, it was June 15th, and that was 87 degrees. Today, we're going to be right near 89. So we might hit the 80s. We may be in the lower 90s, but to give you a perspective, we haven't hit the 80s since June 15th. That was the last time. We still have the air quality warning in place until 10 a.m. We did see an improvement. I saw some blue skies yesterday. As forecasted, the smoke kind of made its way out of the area, but unfortunately that is going to change probably later tonight into tomorrow. We've got a temperature right now at 74 degrees with a north wind at 7. We don't like that north wind, and that is an indication that we might see some of that smoke drift back into our area. And we take a look at the day here, and plenty of sunshine, again with that haze. And look at the temperatures. You'd think there was a typo here, but by 3 o'clock, we're looking at 89 degrees. As we take a look at the Tehachapi area, currently 63, northwest wind at 7 right now, an hour-by-hour view, 59 degrees by 7 a.m., and then we'll rise into the 70s throughout the afternoon. It is definitely a forecast to put a smile on all our faces. We'll talk more weather in just a bit. Back over to you.
All right, Kev, love that forecast. 5:03 is our time now. Overnight, we learned as many as 15,000 Americans are still on the ground in Afghanistan this morning, along with thousands of Afghan citizens who've worked and fought alongside U.S. forces over the last 2 decades. As the frantic rush to get them out continues, we're now getting a better picture of how that will happen and where the refugees will go. Jay Gray has been following the situation all night and brings us the latest from Washington.
Alex, good morning. The conditions surrounding that effort continue to shift almost on an hour-by-hour basis on the ground in Afghanistan under the watchful eye of both U.S. troops and Taliban fighters there. President Biden returns to the White House overnight amid growing criticism of his administration's handling of the crisis in Afghanistan.
I think it's a stain on the reputation of the United States of America, a big foreign policy mistake, a colossal mistake of gargantuan proportions.
Right now, the military side of the Kabul airport is in essence a U.S. base. Troops locking down the area as evacuations continue around the clock.
We'll do as much as we can for as long as we can.
To this point, according to the White House, more than 3,200 American citizens have been evacuated, along with nearly 2,000 Afghan special immigrants relocated to the United States. Some likely heading here to Fort McCoy in Wisconsin. According to the Department of Defense, as many as 22,000 refugees could be relocated in the next few weeks. The new government promising not to interfere with that process and vowing not to retaliate against citizens who've helped the United States.
We have announced to them that their property will be saved and their honor and their life. All those are saved.
But those who know the region and the Taliban well have their doubts.
It's a desperate situation. We shouldn't believe one word the Taliban says. We have very little or no leverage.
The administration does continue negotiations with Taliban leaders. Evacuations expected to last through at least the end of the month. Now, as the process continues to wrap up, officials are hopeful they'll soon be able to transport as many as 9,000 people every 24 hours. In Washington, Jay Gray, 17 News.
And street evangelist Tom Alexander of Walk the Cross has organized a prayer event in response to the ongoing crisis in Afghanistan. Alexander says he wants people to gather and pray for the people of Afghanistan and our own government. It's happening tomorrow at the Liberty Bell on Truxtun Avenue in downtown Bakersfield from 6 to 7 p.m.
17 News is your local election headquarters. 3 Republican candidates hoping to replace Governor Gavin Newsom in the recall election debated last night in Sacramento. But some went after more than just Newsom. While Republican candidates have publicly remained cordial throughout the recall process, that changed in last night's Sacramento Press Club debate. Former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer called out candidate and conservative radio talk show host Larry Elder for saying women no less than men are easier to manipulate, and it's okay to discriminate against pregnant women in the workplace.
That's and we got to call it that. All of us on the stage and everybody running for governor. That's not who we are as Californians.
And that's not all. As Cox began his opening statement, a service processor shouted he was being served in a lawsuit out of San Diego County Superior Court and threw a packet of papers on the floor, which sat by Cox's feet all night. Neither he nor his campaign would comment. This isn't the only time we'll see Cox, Kiley, and Faulconer on stage this week. The 3 are participating in our Inside California Politics debate tomorrow night. You can watch that debate right here on TV 17 at 7 p.m. And a reminder, the last day to register to vote in the recall election is August 30th.
An update now on a story we first brought to you yesterday morning on 17 News at Sunrise. Officials now say a shooting that sent an 11-year-old child to the hospital was possibly gang-related. Sheriff's deputies say a mother and her 4 children between the ages of 1 and 14 were driving in northeast Bakersfield when the mom noticed they were being stalked. 2 men in a white pickup followed the family to the area of Jeffrey and North Tulare Streets where they were attacked. The child who was shot was in the front passenger seat.
Gang members don't show any regard for human life, be it adult or children, shooting into vehicles, just randomly firing shots. Innocent bystanders often get hit.
The mother and the 3 other children in the back seats were not hurt. KCSO says the girl had surgery yesterday and is expected to survive. The search for the gunman continues.
If you noticed some thick smoke over southwest Bakersfield yesterday, you're not alone. A fire broke out just after noon at the park at Riverwalk. As you can see, that flames erupted just off the bike path, contained to nearby brush and trees. The fire department says 9 inches responded to the blaze, and it was knocked down in a few hours. No one was hurt. The cause is under investigation.
Last night, a special tribute to fallen Kern County Sheriff's Deputy Philip Campus during an award ceremony for the program he cared so much about. 4 Kern County teens were honored last night for graduating from the Devil Pubs program, which took place earlier this year at Camp Pendleton Marine Base. The program emphasizes growth through challenge and teaches boys and girls discipline, self-confidence, and more. Deputy Campus was a big part of the program's success, and he was remembered during a special video tribute.
The impact he's left on these youth and the previous youth who've kind of gone on and gone to things like college or gone to military or gone to law enforcement, who found their other goals. They've learned a lot of these skills and self-confidence and belief and the idea that they can accomplish anything. They learned a lot of that in part from what Philip was able to give them.
The family of Deputy Campus was at last night's ceremony, honoring those who worked on the program.
5:09 is your time now. A local church is asking for the community's help before they're forced to sell their property. Blessing Corner Ministries is a staple of compassion in the Bakersfield community, known for their giveaways, clothing drives, and food distributions. Pastors John and Bonnie Turner have been at the Blessing Corner's 1st Street and Union Avenue location since 2005, and they have until the end of August to raise enough money to stay in business. That's why KGET is teaming up with Blessing Corner to host a barbecue fundraiser. It's happening a week from today at the Blessing Corner from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
In education news this morning, a new partnership will allow some high school students an opportunity to begin earning an associate's degree before they go to college. Early College Pathways, which launches tomorrow, is a partnership between the Kern High School District and Bakersfield College. Officials say the program makes the transition to higher education seamless for students and places them on a pathway to a rewarding career. You can learn more about the free courses at bakersfieldcollege.edu.
BC is also making it easier to become a renegade through its virtual one-day enrollment event. The college has taken all of the elements of registration and condensed it down, allowing for a one-day express registration. It's happening today from noon to 5 p.m. BC counselors and staff will be available to help students apply for financial aid, register for classes, and more. To sign up for a session, we have a link on our website, kget.com. And Kern Transit will be offering free rides to Bakersfield College students during the upcoming fall semester. Rides will be available starting this Saturday and continue through the end of finals week, December 11th.
Well, in just a few hours, bells across Kern County will ring in a new school year for tens of thousands of local students. Today is the first day of class for kids in the Bakersfield City, Rosedale, Norris, Panama-Buena Vista, Kern High School, and other districts. For the first time in almost 2 years, the districts are returning to full-time, 5-day-a-week in-person classes. Of course, class will look a little different this year, as students will be required to wear masks indoors. As COVID-19 cases continue to rise here at home, the districts say they'll continue to follow guidance from the California Department of Public Health, Kern Public Health, and Cal OSHA. So yes, it is 5:12 right now, which means it's probably a little early for most students to get up. But I bet in probably about an hour, most students.
I don't remember what time I would wake up when it was back to school time.
I think for me it was between 6 and 6:30. I think that was at least for elementary school.
Yeah.
Now for high school, it is different, and I know that high school schools will start anywhere between 7:30 and 8:30.
A little later, yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on the school. Like for example, I went to Liberty, and I think our start time was 8:26.
Oh wow, that was nice and late even then.
So it was later. Yeah, which meant my senior year when I didn't have first period, I didn't have to be in school until 9:30. I got to sleep in. It was fantastic.
That's the way to schedule it. Welcome back. It's 5:16. It is back to school day for so many kids across Kern County. My kids got an earlier start yesterday when Greenfield School District went back.
Yeah, and look at those fresh cuts.
I know.
Maddie, did you do those?
No, I didn't. I decided for their first back to school day in like a year and a half, they could have a professional cut.
So
instead of a Justin cut?
Yeah.
You splurged, okay.
Well, they looked great, and from what we understand, they had a great time, and it's always nice to show these pictures, you know, with the pandemic and everything. A lot of kids missed this opportunity, and usually we're in somebody's home waking them up on the first day, but that isn't the case this year. So if you have a first day school picture that we could share, I'm going to try to do as many as I possibly can, and you can send them to my email, kevinsharette@kgt.com or weather@kgt.com as well. So I'd love to show some of those. So let's talk about the weather forecast, because all these kids are going to be happy today with the cooler temperatures. Look at this, 74 degrees right now in Bakersfield. We're in the 60s in Delano and Wasco, Buttonwillow, into the mountains, 63 in Tehachapi, Lake Isabella at 72, and we've got mid-70s out of Ridgecrest. Yesterday, our high 103. The normal for this time of year is 97. And guess what? Today, we're going to be below that 97. The record today, though, 110, set back in 1942. We don't need to talk about that because we're not even going to get close to it. As we take a look at the satellite and radar, a few clouds along the coast, but that is it for us. We are looking at another sunny day. Thunderstorm activity well to the east, nothing into California. We are seeing a little bit of a drop in our temperatures this morning. 44 in Tahoe right now, 68 in Fresno, lower 70s into LA and San Diego. And as we take a look at the temperature change, we're down 8 degrees right now in Bakersfield from where we were yesterday at this time, down 22 degrees in Tahoe, and a little bit warmer in Los Angeles right now. That cooler air not making its way that far south. As we take a look at daytime highs for today, 70s in Tahoe, lower 90s in Fresno, mid-60s in Morro Bay, and then also in LA and San Diego, a nice day with those 70s. So some great weather for us. Why? We've got this trough now moving through central California. It did generate some breezy conditions into the mountains. That will continue today as well. And it looks like we will be below 100 for the next several days. Wait until you see the 70. I think you're going to like it. Now, the bad news in all of this, as this continues to push through the state, we're going to see a flow change. We're going to see a flow more out of the north. And with the Dixie Fire in place, we're going to be talking about smoke. So this morning, things are looking good. In fact, yesterday, last night, I saw some blue skies, which was a nice sight to see. The Dixie Fire right now at 626,000 acres, no change in the containment, so we're still dealing with the smoke. I'm going to put this into motion, and you can see as we go throughout today into tomorrow, yes, that smoke is going to make its way back into Kern County, unfortunately, and it might get thick at times. Here's a look at our headlines. So temperatures fall about 14 degrees today from where we have been. Smoke returns by this afternoon. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, no triple digits in the short-term forecast here. And unfortunately, no rain either. But hey, we'll take the cool down. Let's talk about the tropics. Grace is what we're tracking right now. This is Tropical Storm Grace, winds gusting to 75 miles per hour. It is going to continue its track into Mexico by Sunday as a tropical storm. And then we're going to have to see where that moisture actually goes. And it looks like even areas near Mazatlan and Cabo San Lucas may see the impacts of this storm. So we'll be watching it carefully. As we take a look at the air quality, improving a little bit. Moderate AQI at 72. And look at the temperatures today. Bakersfield, 89 degrees. We may hit 90, but I'm going to keep 89 out there. 88 in Delano, 91 in Buttonwillow, 90 in Taft. A little bit of a breeze to go with that throughout the afternoon. Into the mountains, a west wind 25 to 30, 80 in Fraser Park, 79 in Tehachapi, and we've got 80s into the Kern Valley. And then for the desert, also getting a little bit of a break here. Look at Ridgecrest, 90s, no triple digits around the area. In fact, not one triple digit for Kern County this afternoon. Here's a look at our extended forecast for you. 92 tomorrow, 96 on Friday, and then down a little bit on Saturday, Sunday, and then we will be close to the triple digits next Tuesday. Put 99 out there, but boy, this is a nice forecast. As we take a look at the mountains, we're also looking at nice weather. Look at the 80s hanging on Thursday through next Tuesday under sunny skies overnight. Even a little chilly, 50s. And then for the Kern River Valley, we're going to be in the 80s through Thursday. There is a little bit of a warm-up into the Kern River Valley Friday through Tuesday into the 90s, but also trying to keep you below 100. So again, good news on the temperature front, bad news in terms of the fire out of the north coming back our direction.
I don't know which I'd rather have, actually, so.
I know. Me either.
Cooler temperatures?
You know, the cooler
I mean, that's
nice.
I mean, when you, I'm not joking. When you said that it is a possibility, want to hint, it is a possibility, you made Maddie and I.
That we wouldn't hit 90.
That we wouldn't
hit
90.
We were like,
yeah.
It's going to be close. We'll definitely probably see some 90s around the valley, but for Bakersfield, I'm going to try to keep us at 89.
All right. Man, I like it.
Again.
Keep up the good work
that
there,
would be the official reading in Meadowsfield. Here at the station, it might be warmer, it might be
right.
But we're going to try to keep us in the upper 80s.
That's
so
for sure.
much better than yesterday.
I know, right?
All right, Kev, thanks. Welcome back. Our time now is 5:24, and honor flights for veterans to visit memorials will return today after a 16-month pause due to the pandemic. Honor Flights Chicago Hub will send 113 veterans to the National Mall's World War II Memorial to mark Honor Flight's long-awaited return. The Honor Flight Network is a national network of independent hubs working together to honor our nation's veterans with an all-expenses-paid trip to the memorials in Washington, D.C. Honor Flight Kern County is planning to resume flights this fall. If you know of a veteran you'd like to send to D.C., you can send an application to the website honorflightkernkcounty.org, or you can go to their Facebook page.
And speaking of the nation's capital, take a look at this dramatic lightning strike caught on video.
Whoa.
Yeah, the shocking sight was shot on a cell phone early Sunday. The yellowish night sky turned blue as lightning flashed around the National Mall. Then a huge bolt of lightning strikes the top of the Washington Monument. The monument's electronic access system was damaged in the strike. Repairs are expected to take a couple of days.
So when I was
incredible.
when I was interning in D.C. Several years ago, there was one storm where a very similar situation happened. It struck the Capitol building. Talking about these like lightning rods in the nation's capital.
Essentially, yeah, that's what you've built here. So not that big of a surprise.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back, and calling all job seekers. The Outlet at Tejon is hosting a job fair today from 2 to 4 p.m. Career opportunities are available with several retail stores and restaurants at the Outlet Center, including Old Navy, Kate Spade, and Denny's. Organizers encourage everyone to dress professionally and bring a resume, as several employers have immediate openings and will conduct on-the-spot interviews. You don't have to register in advance, you can just simply show up. And welcome back. It is 5:30 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Alex Fisher along with Maddie Jansen. First day of school for a lot of students across Kern County. Tens of thousands of students will be waking up here pretty soon to get ready to head out the door. I just always think that's such an exciting time. You know, new possibilities, especially this year because they're getting back in the classroom. I'm so happy for so many of them. And you are going to have a great first day weather-wise. What a treat, Kev, bringing out the good weather for all the kids across Kern.
At least the temperatures. And the parents, because you said yesterday picking the boys, you were hot.
Sitting there waiting for all three of them to get out. And of course, it's the first day.
Right.
Yeah, and it was a hot one.
Yeah, we won't have to worry about that so much today. It'll feel like winter compared to the triple digits
we've been seeing.
I keep saying that, but yeah, we're happy to see these cooler temperatures. The other thing we're looking at this morning, there was a little bit of the haze. The sun is starting to come up. We've got the air quality warning in place, but last night, I don't know if you noticed it, but I saw the blue skies. I did. Take it in while you can, because I think we're going to see another change with more smoke headed our way later today into our Thursday. Right now, the sun is slowly coming up, and look at that temperature, 74 degrees. We do have that north wind at 7. That north wind is what is going to drive that smoke our direction once again. As we take a look at the numbers, mid-70s by 9 a.m. And again, a lot of the kids will get out right around 3 o'clock today, 89 degrees. And yes, some of the models want to put us at 90. They've been going back and forth. I'm going with 89 today for our high. And then we take a look at Tehachapi, 63, a west-northwest wind at 9 miles per hour throughout the day. You're looking very nice here with the upper 70s, a few lower 80s out there as well. But definitely something that's going to make us all very happy this afternoon. I'll talk more about your forecast coming up in just a little bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Kev. Your time is 5:32 now. The American Civil Liberties Union is coming down hard on the Bakersfield Police Department, calling it one of the deadliest departments in the nation. This following a years-long investigation by the California Department of Justice. 17's Christian Galeno reports.
Unfortunately, even with the eyes of the DOJ on BPD, right, with this investigation that is still ongoing, many of the things that we noted and community members have spoken out about and partner organizations have worked on, unfortunately, like many of those things remain unchanged.
The San Bernardino Police Department is the only police department in California with the most police killings. The Bakersfield Police Department is right behind.
The last 4 years since our 2017 report was released, we've continued to monitor what's going on with different law enforcement agencies in Kern County, but particularly Bakersfield Police Department.
The ACLU claims that since 2004, BPD failed to curb violence perpetrated by its officers despite receiving policy recommendations by the U.S. Department of Justice. Over half shot were unarmed or had a knife. 43% of shootings happened after dispatchers informed officers of possible signs of mental illness. Between 2018 and 2020, 83% of officer-involved shootings involved Black or Latinx people. BPD issued a written statement saying, in part, the misinformation contained in the document is irresponsible and without regard for the men and women who put their lives at risk every day to protect the community. The allegations are not credible and do not in any way represent a legitimate review of the Bakersfield Police Department.
Bakersfield deserves it, and I think that they deserve a strong mandate that really puts an end to these unconstitutional practices and abuses that they've been suffering for a long time.
For 17 News, I'm Christian Galeno.
5:34 is our time now, and it looks like a scene from a science fiction movie. The entire sky filled with a burnt orange glow. Only this isn't from a special effects department. It's from the flames of the Dixie Fire. These images were captured by the San Jose State University Weather Research Lab. Burning for a month now, the Dixie Fire is the second largest wildfire in the history of California and the largest single wildfire, scorching more than 626,000 acres. More than 1,100 structures have been destroyed and thousands of people have been evacuated in its path. The fire is just 31% contained this morning.
Meantime, the Calder fire is tearing through communities and prompting a slew of new evacuations. At least 2 people have been seriously injured in the blaze. Both were taken by air to local hospitals. The so-called Calder fire started last weekend and has charred over 30,000 acres. Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency yesterday for El Dorado County. Residents in several communities were ordered to leave early yesterday. CAL FIRE says more than 80 structures have been destroyed. A public health alert remains in effect in Kern County this hour due to all that smoke pouring into the valley from other wildfires. The Valley Air Pollution Control District issued a warning Monday saying it will be in place until the smoke clears. People living in Kern County, especially those with respiratory conditions, are urged to stay inside and reduce exposure to particulate matter emissions.
In your 17 Crime Watch this morning, shots were fired yesterday afternoon near a Bakersfield College parking lot. The college initially sent out an alert to students saying that 2 men got into an argument with other people in the parking lot at the corner of University Avenue and Haley Streets before one of the men opened fire, the bullets striking a car. But police say the shooting actually happened in the intersection and resulted from an apparent road rage incident. No one was hurt. Police are looking for the driver of a neon green Ford Focus. If you have any information, you're asked to call police.
17 Court Watch now. A Ridgecrest man accused of stabbing a 21-year-old woman to death has been taken to a local hospital. His competency hearing put on hold until he can appear in court. 21-year-old Daniel Gunnarson's public defender says Gunnerson was taken by ambulance to Kern Medical, but refused to say why or elaborate on his condition. A judge decided to postpone discussing a psychiatrist's report on whether Gunnerson is competent to stand trial. Neither the judge nor the attorneys revealed whether the psychiatrist found Gunnerson competent, but noted it was an unusual report. On the morning of May 18th, Gunnerson was found with Catherine Pham's body in an RV garage at his stepfather's home on Skylark Avenue. His pants saturated with blood, according to court filings.
Pope Francis is adding his voice to a campaign to overcome vaccine skepticism, issuing a public service announcement insisting that vaccines are safe, effective, and an act of love. The video message is aimed at a global audience, but directed particularly at the Americas. It was produced by the Vatican and the Ad Council, faced with increasing skepticism about vaccines, especially among religious conservatives. The Vatican has vowed an all-out effort to overcome hesitancy and encourage widespread vaccination. Here at home, Public Health yesterday announced another 335 people have now tested positive for COVID-19. No new deaths were reported. Kern County's COVID death toll stands at 1,436 lives lost. 192 people are in the hospital with more severe symptoms of the virus. 35 are in the ICU.
And we're back here at 540. We're just 3 days away from a full slate of high school football games in the Golden Empire. And today we're continuing our countdown to kickoff series with one of the promising teams in the county, Frontier High School. 17 Sports Director Taylor Schaub reports.
Frontier football is back, and it's fair to say the Titans are ready to take on the fall.
They're chomping at the bit to get back on the field on Friday night and play somebody.
Chris Bandy's squad shined last spring, going 4-1 with their only loss coming in a nail-biter against top-ranked Liberty.
Last season was great. We just had one hell of a ride.
Quarterback Vincent Igoa returns as the anchor of this high-powered offense.
Main thing is these young guys got to step up and make plays for us.
Hey, nice job! Arturo Terrazas, who plays both tight end and defensive end, is one of the many returners that will help lead a younger group.
Honestly, it feels amazing because this last year, everything was cut short. So I'm just happy to play a full season again.
If one word could describe Frontier's fall outlook, it's expectation, both from themselves and their competitors.
I hope we beat BHS, Garces, Centennial, Stockdale, Valley, and winning league. That's the goal this year.
I think we set our goals higher than we ever have here this year.
We'll see if Bandy and company can make those lofty goals reality, starting this Friday at Arroyo Grande.
That was 17 Sports Director Taylor Schaub reporting. Meantime, Bakersfield native Corbin Burns was back on the bump yesterday. The right-hander recaptured the magic of his record-tying 10 straight strikeout performance, going 6 strong in a road win against the Cardinals. Now, Burns only logged 3 strikes, the first time All-Star limited the Cards to only 2 hits and no runs. The Centennial High alumni now has a 2.13 ERA on this season. He has just been incredible to watch, Kev. And I know that, this is special because you know him personally. I mean, you're not just a fan. You actually know Corbin.
Yeah, I get the chills because he's an alumni of Northwest Bakersfield baseball. I served on the board of directors with his dad, and his mom was a huge part of our league back in the day. And it's just so great to see hometown athletes make it big. And I'll tell you, he's got a heart of gold. His family's great, so we wish him the best of luck, and we'll continue to follow him in his success. All right, it is Back to School Wednesday. Let's show you another picture. I've got one for you. And this is Hawk and Phoenix Liano from Columbia Elementary out of Delano. They had their first day up there, and they are super excited. Said they had a great day. So a special thanks to the Leando family for sending that picture in. If you'd like me to share your first day pictures, you can send it to weather@kget.com. I'll try to show as many as I possibly can. Here's a look at our beautiful sunrise for the first day back to school for many, and temperatures are also cooler to start. And we've got a nice sunrise up in Tehachapi, just a little bit of that haze. But again, we're going to start out with better air quality, and then I think it's going to go downhill this afternoon, unfortunately. We're at 74 in Bakersfield, 68 in Buttonwillow. We've got 60 in Pine Mountain Club. Tehachapi, a nice morning at 61, and we've got lower 70s out of the Kern River Valley for Lake Isabella. Not much to show you on satellite and radar. We do have a little bit of cloud cover along the coast. If you are going to be headed out there this morning, they might even see a few light showers, and then mostly cloudy in the afternoon. And other parts of the state are going to remain under the sunny conditions along with that smoky haze. And we were talking about Pismo. 64 this afternoon, mostly cloudy, a west-southwest wind right around 10 to 15 miles per hour. We've got this trough digging through the state right now, bringing in that cooler air, but it's also going to drive that smoke from the north to the south as we progress into the afternoon. So enjoy the skies as they are right now, because I think we're going to see this kind of deplete throughout later this afternoon and especially into tomorrow. As I show you our smoke forecast heading into our Thursday, you can see how throughout today that smoke continues to push more to the south. And yes, most of Kern County will be impacted by this as we head into tomorrow, because the Dixie Fire is just continuing to burn. In fact, it gained about 25,000 acres since yesterday, and nowhere in the state is getting a break from the smoke. So here's a look at our headlines. The good news is temperatures fall about 14 degrees today from yesterday. Smoke returns again, as I mentioned, no triple digits in the forecast right now the next 7 days. It gets a little close at the end of it, but right now we'll keep you below 100, and unfortunately no rain. We're still in that drought. It'd be nice to see one of these troughs bring in rain, but that's just not going to be the case right now. Air quality going to be moderate, AQI at 72, so improvements on that. And your temperatures today, get out and enjoy it. 89 degrees for Bakersfield, 88 in Delano, lower 90s for Buttonwillow. We'll see that wind out of the northwest 10 to 15. And then for the mountains, we're looking sunny today and cooler, a west wind 25 to 30, gusting around 40, 80 in Frazier Park, 75 for the folks out in Bear Valley, for the Kern River Valley. Look at that, 80s. You've been hot. Well, not today. 88 in Lake Isabella, 87 in Wofford Heights. I mean, I know it's still warm, but when we're talking triple digits, that's cool. As we take a look at the desert, even Ridgecrest is below 100 at 97, 84 in Mojave. It will be a little bit breezy today with that southwest wind, 15 to 25. Here's that extended forecast for you. And again, no triple digits. We will be back into the lower 90s tomorrow. We bump it up a little bit Friday, Saturday, back down on Sunday, and then we get close to triple digits Monday and Tuesday of next week. Overnight, still comfortable into the 60s, so good recovery there. And then for the mountains, we're in the 80s tomorrow, mid-80s on Friday, back down a little bit on Saturday, Sunday, and then up a little bit Monday, Tuesday, but keeping you below the 90-degree mark. Overnight in the 50s, and then for the Kern River Valley, tomorrow, 89, 90s return Friday through next Tuesday. So
Man,
I would say
love
a
this.
nice forecast.
Love this forecast. All right, thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Sunrise Interviews is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
Welcome back. Putting my weather hat to the side, and we're talking about a great cause. And if you're 21 and over and looking for a great event this weekend, this Saturday, well, it's your lucky day. Kern County will be having its 3rd annual Margarita Festival. All proceeds benefiting the Kern County Cancer Fund and patients here in Kern County. With me, Michelle Avila and also DT Holder. Talk about the event, Michelle.
Definitely. So it's going to be our 3rd annual this Saturday at the Marriott downtown. It's going to be indoors, so you're going to be nice and cool in there and enjoying some margaritas from our local restaurants.
And this is the 3rd time that you've had this event. I know COVID kind of put things on hold a little bit. It's nice to see everybody getting back into the swing of things. And DT, what can people expect?
Oh, it's going to be great. So all the vendors have different booths, and you'll be able to go through with your badge and sample all the different margaritas. A lot of the vendors are bringing food pairings, and really the food pairing, I was stunned, really makes the difference in the margarita. So that, along with the music and other entertainment, it'll be a great event.
You think wine pairing with food, but you don't think margarita food pairing, but there really is.
There really is a match between the two. I know Bocados had me go and kind of sample to see if it was
It's a
par.
rough
And so they had a food that I wasn't sure if I would enjoy, and then I paired that with the margarita. It was amazing. Yes. Yeah. It gives you an opportunity to try things you wouldn't normally, and then if you enjoy it at our event, then you can go to their restaurant and have it afterwards.
So if people want to get involved in this, what do they need to do?
Well, they can buy tickets from us on Eventbrite. They just go to Kern Margarita Championship, and we actually have 20% off if they purchase through this Friday. The event is Saturday. So they just use the code MARG, and they get 20% off the tickets.
And is there going to be some entertainment? Talk a little bit about that.
Definitely. So Mento Brew is performing that night.
They're 2 thumbs up on that.
Local band. So they're very much supportive of us and local cancer patients. So they'll be there. We also have DJ Richie Rich. He's the DJ for the Condors. So he's going to be out there performing as well. And just enjoying the various vendors and the entertainment and the people.
And lastly, the most important part of this is the money and who it's going to benefit.
Yes. So the money goes back to the Josh Farler Foundation. And that benefits all the local centers here in town, cancer centers, and their patients. So it provides food, transportation, and housing for people traveling for cancer treatment.
Perfect. Well, it looks like an exciting weekend. Margarita Festival is back, and if you'd like more information on this event coming up this weekend, don't procrastinate. You can go to our website, kget.com. Thank you both for coming in, I wish you the best in this event coming up this weekend. Finally, things getting back to normal a little bit. We'll be right back after the break.
Wellness Wednesday is brought to you by Adventist Health.
Welcome back up to the kitchen. Joining us once again, Vanessa Gillarducci, a garden educator with Edible Schoolyard Kern County, which is a program of the Grimm Family Education Foundation. And we're going to show you a way to use up all of your summer produce, because if you're anything like me, your counters are getting a little too full and you're wondering like, oh, what do I do with this before it goes bad? So this is a great way to use it up.
Yes, we are making ratatouille today. It's a French dish.
Okay.
And we pre-cooked our eggplant for about like 10 minutes, and then sauteed a little bit of onion and already caramelized that. So we're going to go ahead and throw in the pan if you would indulge me.
Can I steal that?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so these are our onions. So you would just saute these up in some olive oil with your bell peppers?
Yes, it brings out the sweetness of the onion.
Okay, oh, caramelized onion.
Yes.
Is just the best smell ever.
So you can see that the eggplant's already been cooked a little. Look at that sizzle.
And then, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so we've already sauteed this in olive oil.
Right. From here, we're going to add some garlic.
Okay.
I'll throw it in.
Pop it in.
There we go.
Popped, though.
And
that smells so good.
We'll throw in a little chili pepper. Give it a little spice.
Some red pepper flake. Yum.
As you stir that, I'm just going to start adding.
Okay.
This is our summer squash. We have zucchini, we have patty pans. I mean, whatever squash comes out of your garden that's
like a yellow squash. Could I use that too?
You could. Any kind of summer squash.
Okay. Sweet. Beautiful. We just want this to get good and soft. The squash.
Yes, we will be cooking that till it gets soft.
Okay.
You're going to want to also cook some bell peppers.
Ooh, yum. Pretty colors. I love the colors of summer produce.
Yes, they are so good. And eggplant's really the star of this show. I feel like eggplant's so underused when cooking, and also just like a lot of people are like, what do I do with eggplant? Well, this is a good dish.
I just never know what to do with it, and it just gets soggy, and I just leave it too long, and then it's gone.
So we have some tomatoes we're going to throw in there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, the tomatoes give that umami flavor.
Oh, okay. And we're going to add a little pinch of salt in here too,
yes,
right?
You'll want to salt it.
Okay.
And
just
then
a taste.
At the end, we have some basil already chopped up.
Okay.
And you're just going to add that.
This is nice fresh basil from the garden.
Yes.
Again.
And it's all the summer flavors.
You were saying when you're adding basil, fresh herbs in general, you want to do it at the end, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because you don't want them to cook for too long?
Well, I also like it that it's not completely wilted and just...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You add leafy stuff at the end.
Okay. Anything leafy like a lettuce or something like that. Okay, wonderful. So we're just going to let this cook down?
Yes.
And then...
It would get cooked and it would be softened.
Okay.
And for the sake of time, and then at the end, we will just go ahead and
though. Look at it.
Put that on top of pasta and then sprinkle some cheese here.
So you serve it over pasta, or you were saying brown rice, or there are lots of choices, right?
Right, or you can just put it like on top of toast. Make
on
it
top of toast?
Yes.
Like a bruschetta?
A bruschetta.
Okay, that smells so
and then
yummy.
we can sprinkle some cheese.
Of course. forget that part. Gorgeous. Look at that.
There we have it.
Okay, our ratatouille. Beautiful. I gotta try it. Definitely have to give it a try as always. So we've got our fresh eggplant in here. I'm gonna get a bite of our eggplant.
Yeah.
And our tomatoes. Yum. So good and fresh. I just love that sweet summer produce flavor. It's so good. All right. We are going to share this again on our website, so you can check it out there, kget.com. Vanessa, thank you as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time, and we'll be right back.